Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Be sure to check me out over on Rumble. There you'll find all of my stuff from YouTube, plus my political and social commentary and weekly current events, which YouTube frowns on. Links to my Rumble channel as well as my other YouTube channels and links to let you order my books are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an Unexplained Places video on the North Shore Mountains in British Columbia in Canada. I was actually researching a different story about there was a place where an airplane crashed. Grouse Mountain, Grouse, Grouse Mountain. And I was looking at that, but then I started finding other stuff about this area, so I just did the whole area. North Shore Mountains in British Columbia in Canada. Long before the Europeans colonized North America, the area around Vancouver in British Columbia, Canada, specifically the North Shore Mountains, has been a hotspot for all manner of paranormal activity. And when I mean all manner, I do mean all manner. The first Americans, the Native Americans, whatever you want to call them, in this area, they tell of spirits in the mountains, which can be either helpful or violent, depending on how well they are treated. And this goes back generations. It's not just in the last couple of hundred years. We're talking, generations before that. Legends of cryptids in the area go back just as far. Bigfoot, giant birds, giant lizards, etc. These have been reported in those mountains for thousands of years. Their reports continue to this day. Early European explorers reported all manner of odd occurrences in these mountains. Everything from the cryptids I talked about before, to apparitions, to ghostly voices, to lights in the sky, to disappearing equipment, to weird weather patterns. I mean, it's just everything is there. All in all, the area around Vancouver, British Columbia is just a really, really weird place. Now, I'm gonna touch on these other stories that I had originally intended to report on. In the 20th and 21st centuries, UFOs and UAPs have been added to that list. In this area, UFOs are reported on average, once a week. Some stretches of time that can go as high as one report every 55 hours. So it's a minimum of once a week, but sometimes they get so many of them that they average out to be one every 55 hours. UFO abductions have been reported at more than twice the national average here. And if that's not weird enough, in 1954, the weirdness escalated. On February 12th, an F-86 Sabre jet flew into the side of Grouse Mountain in broad daylight. The official report said that it was pilot error due to radar ghosts. The jet was fully armed with 24 rockets, and it's possible that not all of them were recovered. Many think the jet was chasing and shooting at a UFO. That's why the UFO messed with its radar and its compass, and it had expended some of its rockets. That's why not all of them were recovered. That's the general consensus. Now, again, on June 21st of that year, that's just over 4 months later, a UFO was radioed by a tower. The UFO responded and gave the correct IFF codes, identify friend or foe codes. It then followed that particular transmission with several more correct and appropriate coded responses. 2 F-86 jets were sent to investigate and reported that this particular UFO broke into 2 pieces and easily outmaneuvered the jets for 82 minutes before disappearing from a visual sight and radar. So they see a UFO on the radar. They try to communicate with it because they don't know what it is. They figure, call it and see what it is. This thing responded with the proper IFF codes, but they knew it wasn't anything that belonged to them. So, and it kept sending back more transmissions with the proper codes and, coded responses and things like that. So they sent 2 F-86 jets up to look at it. This thing broke into 2 and evaded the jets for 82 minutes before they just disappeared. It's crazy. The pieces just disappeared from radar and from visual sighting. All this happened right there, right around Vancouver. This area is most definitely a hot spot for everything weird and unexplained. I would recommend that you do your own research. And if you want to visit the area, I've seen so many pictures of it in the last week. It is absolutely gorgeous. Just showing up to look around is going to be beautiful. But, if you can show up and do some research on the weird stuff and put it in the comments, amen, knock yourself out. I'd love to read it. Anyway, the North Shore Mountains in British Columbia in Canada, right around Vancouver. That is definitely a weird place. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all.
Devo Poland, a scientific representative of a pacifist race called the Gandhiri, is sent away as an exchange officer. His objective, to learn the one skill his species never developed, to fight. And he's sent to learn that skill from the one species who does it better than any other in the galaxy, humans. If you like science fiction with an upbeat military tone, check out my novel, Vanguard One.